Hi there. I'm Seth Fineberg from Accountants Forward. I am here with Gita Faust of realestateaccounting.com, and we are just going to have sort of a brief chat because we do have a very exciting webinar coming up on Tuesday, the 24th at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we're really going to get into, kind of more of our discussion. But for right now, I want you, seeing this, to get to know Gita a bit, and a bit of the work that she does, because it's very significant to, really what the webinar is going to be about. So Gita, very briefly, why don't you introduce yourself and your business?
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate it.
Of course.
For taking the time and getting to know each other. That is wonderful. What do I do and where do I start, right? So years and years ago, since 9th grade, I've been on the same topic as commerce and accounting. So you can see what my experience is. And that journey I have continued fast forward till today, where I have a niche in real estate accounting. We offer controllership CFO services on a higher level and report customizations as well.
Okay. And what we really want to get into, ultimately these days, accounting professionals such as yourself, they are kind of really needing to get back in touch with why they're doing what they're doing. And in some of our previous discussions, you had mentioned that you kind of hit a point where you really needed to find some balance between all of the work that you were doing and the life that you wanted to have and to live. Tell me how you've structured it that way.
Again, starting back history, right?
Certainly.
Yeah. I was working full time, and then I was in an accident, and I was kind of disabled for a couple of years. I could hardly sit for half an hour to 1 hour after 5 years. At that point, I decided I need to do something constructive about me and about my life, and start generating some revenue as well, with trying to balance family, kid, and business. And since then, I have started my business helping others. And in the process, down the road, like 5 years down the road, then I developed a niche with real estate. And once that door opened and I got the aha moment, where everybody kept on saying when I started my business, you need to find a niche, you need to find a niche. And that did not resonate till I became a so-called expert today in the real estate arena. Balancing is an act in life that we all do every day. So the way I balanced it was, what was my priority and how can I manage that time to help my clients who had diversified portfolio and make them my family, and bringing their accounting and financials all in one place for all their business, not only real estate. And that's what I loved about real estate.
And you finding today that you have the, work or life and work balance that you kind of sought after? Obviously, you went through a difficult time in your life, but it's not like once you kind of got recovered and all of that, you wanted to necessarily go back to the way you were doing things. So I'll tell you, comment about that, and we're going to definitely dig into that more, and the niche that you've developed in our webinar coming up. But tell me a bit about the balance that you have.
So I started my business around 2000, and I got certified in QuickBooks. The first couple years, 5-10 years, was I work only when my son is sleeping and when he's in school. And if I had to have meetings in between, I would drag my son along. And I did have offices, but now it's a home-based office. And I would tell my clients, if I was in a meeting and he was going to walk in the door, they are going to hear, "Mom, I'm home," and the door banging. This was standard. Anybody who wanted to talk to me in that time period. And
I'm aware. I work from home myself, so.
yeah. And I have one client since the inception of my business still, for 25 years. I should take my son along with me. And that client was so nice. He was a captain in Navy.
Oh.
Every time he met my son, he would give him $1. That reminded me of what my grandparents did. Every time we went to meet our grandparents, we would get, rupees, but not dollars.
Sure, you get a little,
yeah, a little something, just a token. But I think that balance with the client is very important, because I have my husband supporting me for anything and everything. He has never said no to me at any time. So the success is first towards my husband, unconditional, do whatever you want. And my clients, we are here, we want your support, and find your balance between family and then help us. So it was not only on my part, it was on my clients accepting my life balance as well. And that's, I think, what made it more successful for me. Just then me thinking that I need to balance my life and my business.
Excellent. So what are some of the, approximately how many clients do you serve today? And tell me a bit about some of the tools, because it's hard to really think about being an accountant today without seeing a true kind of tech stack, a set of tools that work together and, support you in your work.
So the tech stack is so varied, because I started with a niche and eventually found out that everybody could not afford me for the small businesses, small investors who had couple properties. So we created the courses. So the count of clients are humongous, right? On different varies, it varies by the services we offer. So going on to developing that tech stack was very challenging. But the tech stack started with the client's needs. What do they need? What automation did they have? I'm talking 25 years ago. I still have the same concept. How can we make their back office easier to transition everything to numbers? So it starts from the back end. What do they use in their back office to get to the tech stack? So let's say for a property management company, they may be using Yardi, AppFolio, Buildium, Rentvine, and they may have different tax stacks to work with them, because that work has to be done in-house. And that all relates to the accounting tax stack, right? If there is an integration, well and good. If there's no integration, we build one. And sometimes you don't even need to integrate the software. So currently we do help with property management softwares, as well as in the accounting world. I use ClickUp, which is very simple, dumbed down to the client facing. Facing the client's work has to be very simple. So they just have to take 10 minutes out of their day in the morning while drinking a cup of tea or coffee or mocha, whatever they drink, to answer the questions we have. So we dumbed it down totally for them. Of course, QuickBooks is our favorite accounting software, and especially I love the desktop. It takes us more time going on online, QuickBooks Online, and that amounts to 2 times to 2.5 times more than working in desktop.
Right. And I assume in the desktop world, you're able to, still work in a sort of a hosted environment?
Yes. And I found from day one, I found Ace Cloud Hosting to be the best. They're just a phone call away. Every time I have called them, they have not put me on hold. They get the solution right with their high tech, and people, the right person, they patch me up and get the solution. And we are up and running in 1 or 2 minutes. So the downtime is very less, and they're so supportive. Even by email, you get a response right away. And that's kind of software companies I love to work with. You can pick up the phone and call, and you get the answers. The reimbursement field is a huge one. So we use Couple. We use Expensify for couple clients, Ramp. For AP, I've been introduced to Maker's Hub. That is great. And so is Ramp. And then, of course, if you're using QuickBooks Online, you just use QuickBooks Online's feature as they come along. And they develop it so fast. Every 6 months, they have a new feature. So with QuickBooks Desktop, it's so easy because even today we find integrated softwares that we can import and export. And being it on cloud, we have national clients, global in US, I would say, not global, but global in USA. You get my gist.
Yes.
And we can work with them anytime, anywhere, and we can access it. And that's why I love the QuickBooks Desktop. It has the features that we need to run on a higher end, offering the services as CFO.
Well, we are going to get into that a bit more, as well as our main topic on Tuesday, March 24th at noon Eastern Time, sponsored by Ace Cloud Hosting. We're going to get into a conversation, myself and Gita, to talk a little bit more about some of the tools that she uses to support her clients, but also the idea of developing out the real estate niche. What are some of the tools, some of the best practices? This is definitely an area of growth for any accountant that is, maybe has some real estate clients already and is maybe looking to dig a bit deeper into developing that. So we're going to get into some of those details at that time. Remember again, March 24th, Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. I do hope that you join us. Gita, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Seth.